Mass Max was the turnout of my lifestyle. Smoking green, blowing white clouds to fill the blue skies. Conversating with the gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Walk through the sands of times like Gara. On the other side of that gad is karma. You wet Prada, the devil like inside your box now. While the angels fly over my headstone.
We are back with another episode of the God's Hour podcast with your boy Big Serbs in this motherfucking place to be. Palace 81, La Merca Superior. ¿Cómo estamos? Número 41. Bon voyage. Yes, bon voyage. To give somebody, to bid somebody a good farewell on their journey or until you meet again is what bon voyage means in French, I believe. Off the top of the head. Pause. We're going to get into that in a little bit. Over the weekend, as always, I was just chilling. There's a dog barking back there. Shut the fuck up. Don't interrupt the podcast. Over the weekend, yes, over the weekend. So, last week, man, they had me, they offered offsite for my job. Basically, what that is we have a facility that we work at, and they're offering more hours, but you gotta go to like another facility and they pay you the miles that it takes you to go there, and they also pay you for they give you more hours is basically what it is, and they pay you the gas. So I was doing that all last week. That shit was cool. That shit was nice. I'm looking forward to getting my check and spending it on a little surprise I'm gonna give y'all investments. And so that was cool, man. I forgot what it was like to like pack a lunch and go out and eat a fucking shitty ass lunch. Cause any lunch you take on the go, it has to be like a sandwich, or because with me, I don't like heating shit up. Like any soups, any sort of somethings that you gotta heat up, I don't like it. Especially if it's like food that you gotta make fresh and eat it there, like tacos or picadillo or soups. Anything that you gotta warm up to enjoy it is kind of like not cool with me. So that's kind of what like brought me back to getting lunch while I was working. So basically, when I was a kid, I used to always love Lunchables. For school field trips, all I would eat was Lunchables. That's all I wanted was Lunchables. I fucking would always have like maybe even 2 Lunchables too. Sometimes when I would go on a field trip as a kid on the school bus, I remember just having a store bag with like a Lunchable in it, or just having the Lunchable with me and waiting. Most of the times I remember, like, if we went to go see like a movie or a play or something, we would eat before we would see whatever it is we came to see, right? Or if we went to the very rare times, like we went to like the zoo, like, you know, the once a year trips, you go to the zoo, the San Diego Zoo. I don't know if I think we went to the LA Zoo. The San Diego Zoo might have been a little too far where I was going to school at. But anyway, Lunchables. I used to love them as a kid. I always loved the pizza ones with the fucking, what's that shit? The pepperoni. The pizza with the pepperoni. And I would eat that. So basically, as an adult, over last week, I kind of like relived my childhood, and I was just eating little pizzas, shitty ass Lunchable pizzas every day. Because, you know, in Cali, we do not have any sort of Lucali or whatever the fuck Totino's or what, I don't know what y'all got out there in New York that fucking what's his name page views be reviewing and shit like that. And we are gonna talk about him later because I don't know, man. I was on the fence with the one by reviews. He just seems like Johnny Depp, where he's just kind of like an eccentric, kind of freaky, weird nigga that like. But the thing is, like, when you abuse women, like when you're into that BDSM shit, it's a fine line between like real pain and like the pain that women like. I never understood that. Like when women tell you they want to be choked and tied up and whipped and shit like that, that just sounds like a court case to me. That sounds like a assault. And I'm very familiar with the laws in the superior courts and the white judges that throw the books at the raza like me. So going back to the Lunchables, that's all I was eating while I was doing the offsite. I was working at this fucking place where we were like loading phones into a container, and it was hot as fuck, bro. Like it was upwards of 100 degrees. In the can, it's like 110 degrees. I was sweating my balls off, pause, in there just stacking phones. We were literally loading a container that probably had like upwards of $250,000 to $1 million of just phones. Like if it was 1,000, if every phone was $1,000 and there was like, 1,000 phones. I mean, you do the math, y'all. Isn't that like $1 million? So I don't know. I don't want to do math right now while I conduct the prognosis of my week. I was just basically doing that, man. I couldn't have my phone inside, so with the Pokemon Go shit, it wasn't tracking my walk around the facility, which made me mad. Like, that's the only thing. I don't give a fuck if the shit goes on fire, if the cops come and break the shit down, if, you know what I mean, my dog runs away. I would be really sad, but I'm just saying, like, it's about more so of the Pokemon Go in my mind at the situation was, and my computer's fucking loud right now. God damn, bruh. And this sucks because it's either the computer's loud or we put the AC on and the computer's silent, but then you get the AC in the back, so you just gotta rock with it if you hear it. Friday was cool. I don't think I really did shit. Saturday, I was kicking it too. Me and my pop, we watched, I think we finished the Phantom Menace and we started watching the Clone Wars, but with my pop, man, he makes me like on his priority list, like he makes me last. So everything that we do usually gets cut short for whatever reason. So any movie we watch, unless it's in the movie theaters, my fucking mom needs something all the fucking time or something, or he needs to pack a lunch or get ready for bed or fucking something like that. And it really pisses me the fuck off, man, because it's like, when you have your kids, man, you shouldn't, like, why do you gotta prioritize your kids last? It's usually, like, your kids first. And granted, I'm a grown-ass blood, and fucking this isn't me trying to go on no, like, I'm a child type shit, but it's just like, bruh, like, at least put me in the middle. Like, whatever you gotta do it first, and then, like, have me somewhere around there. And then whatever you gotta do, fucking, that's trivial, like, fucking wash the towels or some shit like that, or fucking tend to your plants or whatever, do that last, bro. Like, I don't understand how, like, feeding the fish and tending to the gardens comes before your kids. I'm just speaking in general terms right now, but really, like, that's kind of what pisses me off. So Father's Day was Sunday. I bought my pop a little cupcake with the Minion on it because my pops is into like weird, funny shit. So I bought it was like a cupcake with a Twinkie sticking out of it, and it had the Minion face on it, and it looked like a little mini Minion in a cupcake. Really funny. My pop likes shit like that. He likes like fucking like stupid slapstick shit like that. So I got him that. I also got him like a Santo card. It's the guardian angel, so he's gonna keep it with him. I want him to keep it with, like, since he doesn't really believe in like the same like Ifa shit that I have going on, I'll probably just have him keep it in his car because he's of the Catholic faith, and I'm baptized. I'm a baptized Catholic, but that doesn't really mean anything to me in that sort of like diaspora of a religion, because I think I've already spoken on this about like my godparents and shit like that, and to me any religion that you so-called believe in, that you don't really support it or believe in the actual practices or beliefs, anytime you don't you fake the funk like that, it's just it's kind of lame, bro. To me, I don't fuck with it and I don't rock with it. So you just got to do your own thing, right? So I kind of feel like I'm just going back to my roots. I'm going back to the real Ifa of what the raza was doing before these Spaniards and white people just decided to whitewash everything like they always do. They conquer people, they fucking give us diseases, and then they expect us to follow their bullshit, which is not gonna happen. And Father's Day came around. All my cousins came, my family came. It was dope, man. For having not have like a party or anything at my house in like a long time, it was really cool. Some of my tios were there. A bunch of my cousins were here. We were playing like games and shit like that taboo shit, which is a fucking silly game. For me, it's cool. It's always cool to see my family, but like I say, man, I got like about like a set time, like 2 hours, 2.5, 3 hours. Then I just gotta like find my own sort of personal space to be in and just be there for a little bit, and then I could come out recharged and be around my family, because my family is a lot, man. My family loves to gossip and talk about bullshit, or I just feel like really disconnected with my family's affairs. Now, individually, they're all great people. I love them all, but like for some reason, especially like my aunts, like when my tias get together, they talk a lot of gossip, they talk a lot of shit, and it's just like in my mind, if you're gonna do something, like if you're gonna talk about it, be about it, bro. Like don't come over here in my house and spread like this negative bullshit that's just like you're not 100% inside, so you wanna fucking project that on a like our tierra, which is not what I'm about. You know, if you have a problem, talk about it, and we could talk about it. But if it's just gonna be like this thing where we fucking have like a AA meeting about fucking the same repetitive shit, it's kind of redundant, bro. And you just gotta get the problems taken care of, especially like when it's Father's Day, bro. Like it's Father's Day, nobody's really talking about fucking what fathers do for their children, or what being father figures, how important father figures are in the lives of our families, which nobody gives a fuck. Everyone wants to praise our mothers, but our fathers are equally important in society. Bon voyage. We are going to talk about the story of VUDULUV, my debut album. My album that took me 3 years to make. And usually when people are making an album, they're not making anything else, which I could kind of respect, like if you're really, really zoning in, but that's not really what it is. Like in most cases, people are just making an album, you know, fucking buying studio time, and they're just on Instagram, on fucking Snapchat, TikTok. Oh, I'm in the studio, but you ain't done one song. So you paid $1,000 for the studio, $1,000 to the engineer, and $1,000 to the producer to just sit around and be on TikTok. For 3 bands you on TikTok, bro, for free, I could have just been at the house writing music, bro. But as far as the album goes, June 21st, 2021, I released VUDULUV, my debut album, the most special, precious album to me. It was real pain, bro. Like, there was real shit going on behind that album that a lot of people are unaware of. Like the false accusations, shit I've been talking about, that happened during that album. I was working on this album from 2019 to 2018 to 2021. Yeah, 3 years. And I started working on VUDULUV probably, I want to say, like like during the end of like, okay, so I had the idea for Voodoo Love since 2017, I want to say. Right? 2017. Could have been 2017 or let's just say 2018, right? I had the idea since then. I've had it since I had this song. I forgot what I called it, but the beat name was Kitty, and I dropped it on Block Market Crash, where I'm like, gotta get up out this world, go shorty. She took me places where we flow, just hoping. Your man is insufficient, baby, listen, it's a given. If a Serbi's hitting, you know that I come to finish. Yeah, that's that. That was like the kind of like, either I made the song and then the idea came about. I think that's what it was. I wanted to make an album talking about love, and I wanted to call it Voodoo Love. The first track is Wuso. That's how you say it in Haitian Creole. Wuso is an island. It's a small little island in Haiti. I just love the name. Like, I just love the name. It just kind of seems like real, because it's Rose. I think that's pretty much how you say rose in French Creole, or wherever the word originates from. I just wanted the introduction to be like really, I wanted the title and the sound to be really like, oh, this is some different shit. Cause I'm not French, and I don't name my tracks anything like really French. You dig what I'm saying? It's kind of like either in Spanish or English, because that's what my culture, ethnic roots are. The intro song is kind of just a loop. The beat was originally called Shoreline, and the sample is of a santero sacrificing a rooster to El Igual. Makami was a really big influence for me. Not a lot of people, but let's just say one person thinks that I'm kind of like stealing his style, and it's not that, bro. It's Makami was a super big inspiration for me, bro, and I'm always gonna give him his flowers, because there wasn't really an artist early in my career, especially like in 2017 or whenever I let him listen to the Brujeria track, that was like talking to me, and he was really dope for that. And you know, I've had some words and some thoughts about the man, the myth, the legend. But honestly, to keep it 1,000 with y'all, I feel like Mock has contributed a lot more positives in my career than negatives. And with that, I'm just going to keep it respectful. Mock, if you're listening to this, just know, bruh, that it's no hard feelings, bruh. I know I might have said like subliminal crazy shit or whatever the fuck, and it's just like, it's just growing. It's just growing through things, just kind of keeping it rap, you know what I mean? Because I really don't have no sort of like beef with Mock or anything like that. As a matter of fact, this is where I want to give him his flowers and his space to be held in a great light, because I feel like a lot of what he gets covered as is kind of like weird. I feel like a lot of people blow him up to be like this MF Doomy type character, which he's not, bro. I feel like Mock is on his own level. He's on his own wavelength, and people shouldn't compare him to anything really. Like, anytime you're anti like the industry or anti the norm, people want to label you as this mysterious reclusive. Oh, he's this fucking, oh my god, like fucking, I don't know what the fuck these people think. Like, that's why the homie even said, oh, you're too much like Mike, just because I'm anti like what the fucking norm is. Bro, I don't give a fuck about Bandcamp. You ain't gonna catch me on Bandcamp no more. You ain't gonna catch me on SoundCloud no more. This is straight Big Serbs doing what he wants to do. And for every other artist that's doing that, bro, I feel like that's just the way you gotta be now, especially if you in the underground or trying to make your own moves that, you know, big name artists are co-signing you. Even if big name artists aren't co-signing you or they are co-signing you, you should probably just like stick to your own shit, bro. Which I feel like I gotta give salute Mock for doing that, because he could have signed with Rock Nation. He could have signed with Griselda. He could have signed with Shady. He could have signed with so many people, but he's just doing his own thing. Unlike these other fucking artists that they stand next to bigger name artists just for the clout. Whereas I feel like Mock, he's making smarter moves and he's making his own moves versus like, you know, I just feel like whatever way the underground should be moving, I feel like Mock is a really good representation of that. But enough about Mock already. Actually, hold on. So when he came out with HBO, he had like the interview with Tyrone to Harlem, which I re-uploaded because I don't know why this shit got taken down, but I brought it up. I posted it back up for everybody. Not all heroes wear capes. Thank me later. Makami, he came out with HBO. He was talking about Santeria, and we have our own Santeria as well. We have our own Santissima as well as a Mexican culture, which I'm not going to dive deep into because it's more so kind of our own thing. And I was kind of exploring that on VUDULUV at the time. I was speaking about, you know, Santeria and our own Santissima that we have in Mexico. It kind of like goes, it's kind of not the same thing, but it's more so like cousins or something, or distant relatives or something like that. The religions as far as the beliefs and practices. So Wuso is just a straight loop, and it sounds really like, to me it sounds like if you're going into, like, if you're on a boat and you're just going to like a distant like place or like a fucking unexplored island or something like that. That's why I called it Wuso. And that's how the fuck you pronounce it in Haitian or whatever, right? Because I'm not 100% sure on the facts. I just fucking, you know, I just know what fucking the internet tells me. A VUDULUV, obviously it's a reference to, you know, Zapp and Roger, Computer Love, but this ain't no Computer Love, you get me? I sampled a disco record. A VUDULUV is basically like, on VUDULUV I wanted to explore, basically VUDULUV is a strong emotional attachment to something that is capable of causing great harm or destruction. That was the whole mindset that I wanted people to listen to on this album. So a VUDULUV is basically me having troubles with this girl, or like kind of like the relationship I'm in. I was basically talking about how, you know, women, they think you're like, well, what's the shit when you sleep around with bitches, like not that you're cheating, but infidelity. So I feel like a lot of women get like paranoid and shit, and two, it's like maybe I just want to live life. Maybe women never think, oh, like maybe I might not be, maybe I'm not, like women don't think I'm on some bullshit and he just want to live his life. No, most women are like, I don't know why he's not fucking with me. I'm the best shit that ever happened in his life, and whatever he's doing is like fucking bullshit. Women fucking, I feel like women, they don't give men the benefit of the doubt, which is basically, you know, she steady talking about how she met Keisha. I'm just saying, baby, I ain't even seen her. I've been smoking out the Chevy with the speakers, eager for your calls while I'm up in Mona Lisa to each your own. I've been in my zone, you been in my phone, seeing all my texts, asking me come home. You know, it's just really self-explanatory. Like, I'm just trying to live life, and you worried about me trying to live my own life, instead of like asking yourself, what am I doing that is like not serving or just being on the same wavelength as me? Because a lot of women in my life, at least, that are on some bullshit, I just stay away from them and I just do my own thing, because you're not gonna have me around your life full of bullshit and think like I'm gonna be cool with it, because that's just not what it is. So a VUDULUV, that's just the title track. That's basically the whole album in one song, a VUDULUV. And I want to say Wuso, going back to Wuso, was like maybe the second track that got or actually the second beat, because it's not really a track. It's more so of like, it's a track, but I'm not rapping on it. So it's just kind of like, I had that beat. That was like maybe the second beat for the album. I had it for a long time, and I really, really wish I could have saved who did the artwork, because I took the artwork from this Instagram page and fucking watch so many people, like, they always copy me. They're gonna find esoteric pages and shit like that and start fucking taking photos of shit that's like esoteric knowledge, and they just gonna start using them as covers. I mean, they've been doing that already, but I mean, my shit is just a little different. So the cover is basically like a distorted eye, and I should have covered this earlier, but the cover is basically a eye melting, which is what I wanted to give a visual perception to the album for the listeners. It's kind of just the eye, you see the top half of it, but then it melts. So I wanted to see like basically, I want to say, what I'm trying to say is like, everything ain't what it seems. So whoever's listening, if y'all listening, please try to get me in contact. Who did this artwork? I really love this artwork. If we could get them paid, you know what I mean? I would really love to do that, because this is just a phenomenal piece of work, in my opinion. I would really love to know what they did, because it looks kind of like half and half, like where they drew it out. I mean, obviously they drew it out like somehow, but they drew it out. They fuck with it like either like on a bamboo or some sort of like drawing illustrator tablet, but it looks really hard. The back cover of the art is basically the eye going down, and it's even more distorted. So I flipped it, so it's like you see the front cover as it should be, but then when you see the back cover, it's upside down. When you open, if you bought the album, because if you look at my Instagram post, you're gonna see this. But when you open the CD, for all you lucky, because I only made a few selected, a very, very, very limited quantity of CDs for this album. If you open it, the inside of the album is actually a picture from 1969. It's with my father. I don't know, because my father's birthday wasn't in July, so I don't know whose birthday this was. It might have actually been the baby that I think that's my tia Helen. My tia Helen is holding the baby. That might have been the baby's birthday, because I don't know who that is. My pops knows who it is, but the little kid in the jacket with the party hat in the very, very front with the jacket is my father. Like I said, I don't think it's his birthday. On the top right, the kid with like, it looks like he's eating like a cupcake or something. That's my Theo Willie. Me and King Louie talked about him on the Boulevard Nights episode. But that's my whole family right there, bruh, in 69. And I know some of these relatives of mine, but they're all old now. They're all like old as fuck. So I don't know. Shouts out to my family, but that was basically, or actually it might not be the baby's birthday, but it might be what looks like a girl. I don't know who that is, to be honest, with the party hat. She's like with her face turned. I don't know. But it's definitely not my father's birthday. And my father is he 2 in this picture? Which is crazy to me. Like, my pops doesn't look 2. He kind of looks like 5, but yeah, he's 2. He's 2 right there. Urban Healing. Now, Urban Healing was one of the first songs. Urban Healing, the very first song we did, Tears of Pain. And the second track I think I did was Urban Healing. And that song I dedicated that to a very special person who really is no longer in my life, but I hope our paths cross someday whenever we could like fix our relationship. And that's what basically VUDULUV kind of was based around, like this girl who like fucking broke my heart, bruh, and shattered it into a million pieces, stomped on it, river danced on it, and snorted the lines and threw it all back up in my face. Urban Healing was basically me trying to like make a fucking shitty situation better. Like at that time I was just getting into cocaine, and I was having like some issues. And basically VUDULUV started like right after I started doing Voodoo Love like right after Josh took his own life. So I was really like in a fucked up space mentally for a long time. Like I'm still not over that shit, but it's kind of like waning. Whereas like in Voodoo Love, it was like all the emotions I was feeling, I was just putting it all sonically together as an album. And that's what Urban Healing is. It's kind of like me trying to make light of a shitty ass situation. You know, when you visit a botanica, or when you visit your grandma or something and you're sick, she always has some sort of remedy, some weird remedies, like a slice of lemon, garlic, and fucking fermented pineapple juice in a mason jar or something that's been there for 3 months, and you fucking rub it on your back or some shit for good luck, or just something like that. So Urban Healing was just kind of like me trying to find like ways, trying to use drugs as a way to kind of like cope with my reality at the time. More specifically weed, because I wasn't really, because when I was doing Yay, I wasn't really doing, like, I wasn't snorting half of Bolivia and shit like that every day. It was kind of like here and there, or whenever I would like be in the hood at times. That's Urban Healing. Maybe I'll do a lyrical breakdown at another point, but this is kind of, I just want to bring a synopsis. This is the anniversary of Voodoo Love, so I want to give it its own space. Then we have Bon Voyage, which is probably like my favorite beat, one of my favorite beats on the album. And I sampled a really dope group, like band, really like soul. And this was when I was really digging into soul music and just finding my sound as a producer, because I always felt like producers sampled like oldies and shit, but they did it in a fucking like weird way. Like I would totally refute producers who would sample oldies or like soul music, and then I just found out like producers have been doing that, bro, like since like the beginning of time. So it's not really nothing to be mad at. It's just a certain sound that you get from the records, and you can't say, oh well, this is my shit right here, because it's like, it's really not, bro. And especially if you didn't make it, it's like you can't really claim it at all whatsoever. So Bon Voyage is basically me saying like goodbye to like all like all the bullshit. It's just kind of like, it's like, it's like me saying like farewell to all the fuck shit, and I just didn't give a fuck. Like I was just like wildin', you know what I mean? Get busy all around town, big Benji. You finna find out jealous ones envy in the same place. Niggas find place fucking on the bass step heavy. In the jungle where we get plenty. On the grind time, pussy do the rhyme if you can't. Spit 4's 9, I ain't gotta say a line set heavy. So Sean Paul was like he has that shake that thing, miss da 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 da. Shake that booty, get busy. So I kind of took that, get busy, and I just kind of flipped it. I just flipped it all into like one hook, and I was just wilding. Like also too, that fucking dude Bon Voyage from The Incredibles. He had like bombs and shit like that. So I was just kind of like, I created kind of like a song out of like those ideas of like something explosive. So it really didn't have anything to do with women. It was just kind of like me being me, like illustrating what I was just around in the street at the time. Jane Doe is kind of like me, not really simping to a girl, but it's just like, man, I wish I heard this album again, like fresh, so I could just give you all like what I was really, really feeling at the time. But Jane Doe was more so like, cause I remember when I made the beat, I was like, damn, this shit is hard as hell, bro. This is like something I never really did before. It's like sonically, musically, and just like lyrically, it was all something different. This whole album was like that for me, but specifically like Jane Doe was like a really, really interesting track. Let me see. Let me pull it up. Okay, so Jane Doe, yeah, now it refreshed my memory. So I'm doing all this bad shit in the name of like trying to get rich or trying to get these things in my life, a woman or affection in my life, and it's just basically like highlighting all the things that are wrong with that. Like I feel like men, we go out of our way for our women and we end up fucking doing crazy shit, bruh. Like and shit that it can endanger our lives, and that's another main thing of voodoo love. It's us as men putting our freedom, our lives on the line for a better life, for our women, for our families. And Jane Doe, that's where I kind of talk about it, you know, a little bit more in detail. And the first half is kind of slower, you know, because that's my Jane Doe, chain hang low. That's the fucking, you know, that's my Jane Doe, chain hang low. Fuck, man, I already forgot this shit. Man, I'm making like new songs every day and shit, writing new songs. Y'all can't blame me for fucking not remembering songs I did years ago and shit. Like, I think I recorded Jane Doe in like 2020, bro. That's already 2 years ago. I've made like fucking 10 albums since since then already, bro. Yeah, I really should have fucking listened to the album before I fucking did this shit, but basically that I already spoke on what it was. It's just kind of like a little braggadocious and putting your life on the line for your woman, which niggas do every day, B. Tears of Pain. Now this was like really the most the hardest track to do. Like I think I actually cried after I recorded this shit because it was so real for me. It was just basically Tears of Pain was like I was like super depressed and I wanted to talk about how I felt because there's not really tracks where I'm really honest with the listener and I talk about how I'm feeling at the time. Tears of joy, tears of pain, the tears come spilling every day. You know, that just basically sums up the whole shit. It's kind of like just life shit, you know, you laugh, you cry, and then I talk about, you know, where was you when I was shitting on the crowd? This bitch was screaming loud, and I wished it was you doing all the screaming about. With that, I'm talking about right there is I invited this girl that I really loved to the show, and she didn't go to the show. And there was like this girl that was screaming and shit, like, ah, like fucking while I was rapping and shit. I wished it was that girl, bro, that didn't go to the show. And that really fucked with me too. Like, you know, I invite, you know, the people I really want around in my life to go to my shows and then they don't go. And it really puts like a damper on like how I feel about just people in the world. And it really gives me like a bad taste about just navigating the world. You're like, oh, okay, like that's how you are, like that's how people is, like okay, but you can't really do that because it's kind of like a case by case basis. But it just really made me realize like who is really trying to be in my life and who's really not, you know what I mean? And Chava, that was when I was still cool with Chava Styles. So Chava Styles, I told him I want you on my album. So he was like, fuck it, what are we gonna do? And I think I wanted him because when he gets in his bag, like whenever he gets in his personal bag and shit like that, he kills it. Like when he, like Peace and Blessings was one. I think Potent was another track he got introspective on. But Tears of Pain, you know, I wouldn't say, you know, he killed it or anything like that. I just feel like he kind of more so talked about his idea of like women and what he went through, which was cool. It was good enough for me, you know what I mean? So that was Tears of Pain. Stay, I wanted it to be more so like of more positive, more upbeat. Since we went from Tears of Pain, I wanted to bring it up. So I ain't never ever gonna stop looking out for you with your moms. I'm eating chicken wings at the spot. Let's get it on. And I forgot the fucking rest of the lyrics after that again. I just basically talking about the same thing, like just smoking, trying to take, you know, this girl I really liked out and just enjoy like the finer things and just tell her like what I would support her with and shit like that. Then we have FaceTime, which I always wanted to make an interlude of just like a dope instrumental. FaceTime was that. and and not only. And if you listen to the sample, it's like home again, baby, home again, baby, and home again. So it's kind of like FaceTime. I wanted to give like prison is like a big thing in my culture, so I kind of wanted to represent that sonically in a way where you would get it. And I didn't want to talk about prison or spit over this beat. I just kind of wanted to give you like, something like something to just listen to and FaceTime. You think FaceTime like I'm talking about the iPhone, like no, like FaceTime like prison. So all this shit that I'm doing, I've been talking about since then could land you in fucking FaceTiming somebody over the prison phones, which is basically kind of what I wanted the listener to get, whether you know it or not. This is where shit can land you. Then we have Waffle House, which is like when you're in the pinta, it's like you gotta ride for the raza, you know what I mean? And you could get marked out if you don't ride, bro. Like as any affiliated gang members have to, you just have to ride, bro, regardless if you're trying to be a part of it or not, bro. Like you gotta ride. So, form a slime, hit the 5, rip the ties, do 100, double life, sign, never drop the dime, grip the 9 and then you pay the fine, grip the 9 and then you pay the fine, what the fuck? Yeah, whatever, yeah. I fucking hate that. I really should have listened to the whole album again, but it's all good. Something like that, right? So, basically, I'm just talking about, like, how it gets crazy in the prison. Like, you just really gotta ride, and how you can end up in the prison, bro. Like, you just really gotta... It's just really a violent place. It's really aggressive, and it's really not nowhere you want to be. And if you listen, like I really sound like really like mean and aggressive on that shit. And that's what I wanted to give y'all. That's what prison makes you. It turns you in a whole like an animal almost. You know what I mean? And real quick, MGP. I wanted that track on VUDULUV. Maybe I'll make it a bonus track for like the second round of CDs I come out with, but MGP and the song VUDULUV basically go together, and I'll make that the bonus the next time around. I'll make that the bonus track. And basically MGP is just about selling drugs, and like we got the price for the low. Like I'm the best. I got the best shit in town. And then VUDULUV is basically, the song is more so like, time for change when you acting funny. VUDULUV, how we, no, bougie bucks in my cups this morning. VUDULUV, how we get this morning. Voodoo, this voodoo. What I'm trying to say is everything that we believe in or everything we doing is how we living, bro. This isn't like no fake shit. This isn't me trying to be like on some weirdo shit. Like, bro, like we're doing what we really believe in, whether it's negative or it's positive. And in that case, it's kind of a little bit of both on MGP and VUDULUV. So then we have Hollows with Chava Style. I put the extended version of Hollows on Cocaine Cell itself, the album I came out with in January. But on this version of VUDULUV, it just has Chava Styles on the track Hollows. And Chava Styles, I feel like he killed that shit. I feel like he got really introspective. He talked about his grandma. He talked about a lot of deep shit. And it's just pretty self-explanatory. And it was just a great addition to VUDULUV. It's basically everything I've been talking about, but in his perspective, like doing like not so good street shit and just being caught up in the life. Then we have Sonny Burgess. I kind of wanted to take a detour from everything and just give you, some fun shit, which is what Sonny Burgess is a old school blues player. He passed away a few years ago. Rest in peace. And I was on my Max B shit, you know what I mean? All the bitches call me Serbs, and that's for certain. You could call me Serbs, baby, but I'm Sonny Burgess. I run the town like Benny in the Nitro Circus. Maybe cause I be firing you looking nervous. I get my order cheesesteak with the broccoli. In this game is keepsakes. Ain't no stopping me. Prop police on the streets. Punk police. Cop a piece. Rob the beast on the street. Fuck police. Cop a piece. Rob the beast on the scene. Fuck with Serbs. Knock your teeth. What I say? I see the numbers flowing when I'm looking in the stream. You see the butter toast, and now I gotta get the cream in the beam. hitting long range from atop a tree. And my chopper cheap shorty hold the Glock for me. Whipping all day till she gnaw her teeth. I be sucking on them titties to Ashanti. Chop cheese on the streets, punk. Yeah, so basically, I was just on my Max B shit, man. I wanted to get like some fun shit out there, you know. I See You. I had that. Actually, that might have been the oldest beat. I See You was, I think. Oh, I forgot what Shoreline, but it was off of the Greenlight Insurance, the Dirty Dog Discount, the beat tape I put out. I think that was my 4th beat tape I ever put out. I put it out originally on YouTube. Actually, I think I put the Dirty Dog Discount on Bandcamp and then YouTube. I don't know why I did that. I was kind of like ahead of my time for that, because I never really put my shit out on YouTube. It was always like Bandcamp exclusive, because I always wanted people to not just listen to my music but pay for it. But you have to put it out, bro, on everything, bro, because this is just the age where people are fucking stupid and they don't want to buy shit and they just want to listen to it. So fuck it, you know what I mean? How I write when I'm so gifted. This my life and I'm prolific. Hoes pivot, listen, whipping in the Civic till they so lifted. Scripted, see the numbers and they code shifted. Pimping, skipping stones, handle up the gripping. Oh wait, I just mixed two different songs right there. But fucking, yeah, I took the flow for ICU and I just put it on, what's that song on the Dog on Riverside Drive 2? I don't know. Yeah, I should have did my homework more, I know, but fuck it, we here. I See You was just like, I see you when you gon' see me. I see you when you gon' see me. Big pictures on flat screen TVs. Ladies love big serves, they dreaming. I feed you when you gon' feed me. I see you when you gon' see me. Tonight, baby, where you tryna roll with it? I got some tree and some mo, chillin', cold spillin', sippin'. Whatever the fuck I said. I was just in my zone, and ICU was obviously the fucking place you could get sent to if you're shot or anything like that. So basically, that's what I'm trying to tell you. You could get hit and shot doing the wrong fucking things. And ICU is like, I see what you doing, nigga. And that's just basically what I was on. Tulips, that's the song with Mufasa on it. The one and only feature. The one and only. Again, I'm not rapping on that. There was a few tracks I wasn't rapping. Woosaw wasn't rapping. FaceTime. What is it? Hollows. Tulips. 4 tracks. Oh, actually, and All Good Things too. 5. That's crazy. 5 out of how many? 14? Interesting. I only rapped on 9 tracks. Wow. Catch the reference if you don't already. So Tulips, I had the beat for a while. Actually, the song we had for a while. We had that one since 2018. And Mufasa, I think that's literally him freestyle singing. You know, I think I fell again. Girl, I'm sorry. You know, I know that it's hard. Yes, I know. I just really love the singing on it. And I wanted to make it sound like Travis Scotty, undergroundy, you know. So there was that. And then the second half, you know, the beat drops, it changes. And True Love, I forgot what the fucking sample says already. And basically, it's like Voodoo Love through the eyes of Mufasa. And I feel like he killed it. I feel like he killed like Chava Styles on both of those features. For sure on the Tulips track. Then we have the ending, All Good Things. All good things can't last. All good things must end. So it ties everything together. Like all good things, you know, it's just like everything has to come to an end at some point. And that's just how we wrap the album up, bro. It's not nothing cinematic or crazy. It's just like when you live and you make these kinds of choices in your life, it all ends, whether it's for good or bad. So, you know, there's a lot of different ways to interpret this album. But for me, I'm just speaking on my life. And maybe we'll get into a in-depth lyrical breakdown of it later. Because I feel like I really did a poor job at giving you the greatest detail I could on the album as far as like from a lyrical standpoint. But just as long as you know, like, this album it took me 3 years, man. And why did it take me 3 years? Because I wanted to make the best conceptual album I felt like I could have made at that point, and that's why it took so long. It took 3 years. I know I told some people I was gonna do it, but you know, when it comes out, it comes out. There was a lot of bullshit along the way, man. From feeling like I got dissed by Euro Dientes and all this other shit that I had to go through on the way from the accusations, getting kicked out the crib, coming back home. It was all there. So VUDULUV is just basically a 3-year journey in one audio recording. I mean, and what else could I say, man? It's just probably one of my most proudest projects. Maybe not the best lyrically or sonically or anything like that, but as far as like a conceptual album, I nailed it. Like, I put the nail in the coffin as far as like conceptual albums so far. I feel like the only a tighter conceptual album I made after that was The Dog on Riverside Drive 2, but that was already like, you know, almost a whole year later, and in a shorter amount of time. But I feel like VUDULUV, even still, it has just better themes and just contradictions that I spoke about as far as men and women and what we do for money and for love. And that's basically a VUDULUV. Bon voyage. This is the God's Hour.
Mad Max was the turnout of my lifestyle. Smoking green, blowing white clouds to fill the blue skies. Conversating with the gods by my wildflower, to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower, to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower, to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower, to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Walk through the sands of times like Gara. On the other side of that gad is karma. He wet Prada, the devil like inside your box now, while the angels fly over my headstone.